Hey y'all, welcome. We are here. We officially made it.
Hey Eagle Talk fam, it is episode number
100.
Yay, 100.
Can y'all believe it? I don't know that we can believe it. Can we?
I think we kind of sort of a little bit can believe it.
Okay, it's been a 3-year journey and we made it. That's amazing.
It has, y'all. So this is episode number 100, and Corey shared a statistic with me that most podcasts don't make it 50 episodes.
Yeah, past 50.
They don't make it past 50. So we have doubled the odds.
We have.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. And guess what else I'm excited?
What?
Because Zaddy, it's your birthday.
It is. I'm a couple of days away. The big 4 or 5. Feeling good, just got back from Dubai, which was I don't even know how to explain that experience. So I'm gonna try my best.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was on my bucket list. But more importantly, it was on my bucket list to be able to take the kids.
Yeah.
So we pulled that off.
Yeah, no, Dubai was definitely a whole situation, and I'm pretty sure in the coming Eagle Talks we will share more with you all about that. I do have a random question for you though, Corey.
Okay.
Because when you were 44, it was your Obama year. So are you transitioning to your Trump year?
No, I'm claiming number 9. This is the year of 9 for me. For those of you that don't know, I am in an anonymous fraternity.
No, you can't do the people like that.
Yes,
what's your fraternity?
My line number was number 9, and I've just rolled with it since April 5th, 1997. So this is the year of number 9 for me. I'm expecting a lot of greatness. Miracles, abundance, and to just be a light in this world.
Hey, okay. I love all that, but I know our listeners are like, but what fraternity are you in?
DM me.
Yeah, go ahead. Y'all put it in the comments. Leave a review and say, like, when you see Corey, what fraternity do you think he is a part of? And then we'll let you know if you're right. And if you really know him, you can't answer.
Yeah, I'll answer. If I'm asked.
If you're asked. All right, y'all. But for episode number 100, we thought that it would be really fun and dope to just really kind of talk through some of our favorite moments of having this podcast. So if you are new here, then what you may not know is that we did not set out at all to have a podcast, right? It happened so organically during the quarantine. It really started from a Facebook Live that you did with me during the quarantine. I was doing these things that I called quarantine conversations. And in quarantine conversations, every day of the week, or not every day of the week, like once per week, I had a conversation with somebody during quarantine. And y'all remember club quarantine, like there was nothing to do but be on social media.
Right.
And it was really fun. So like once I interviewed the principal that I used to work with, then I interviewed my best friend. We talked about having a lasting friendship. Then I interviewed like a bankruptcy attorney because I felt like some people was probably going to head to bankruptcy, which good thing I did. Just all different type of folks we talked to. But then I was like, you know what? Everyone at that time always asked me about my entrepreneurship journey. And then I would cue them in like, y'all, my husband was really the one. Like I really was not doing this on my own. And we had that first conversation. I invited you and you were reluctant.
It was awkward. I think you were in the kitchen. I was in the office. I was so stiff. First of all, I couldn't believe that I was doing an interview that was going to be just sticking in the world.
Yeah, because you were 1,000,000% private.
Yeah.
I was the one forward-facing on the internet.
The second thing, the whole interview, all I can think of, and my mama will attest to this, I waited all of my adulthood to cuss. So my thing was, don't cuss on this live because it's just not going to be pretty. So I was watching, I was mentally thinking about everything I was saying before I said it.
Yeah.
But I looked up and 72 hours later, we had like 1,500 views.
Exactly.
And that was the birth of Eagle Talk.
Yeah, that was the birth of Eagle. Well, kind of, sort of.
Okay.
Like that was the first time that we went live. But then a few months after that, I remember we were like hanging out. Again, quarantine. So all we had to do was talk to each other and be with each other.
In the backyard.
And then we were having a good conversation. We was like, you know what? We should go live.
Yeah.
And then when we went live again, just on Instagram, that was the birth of Eagle Talk.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely right.
Yeah.
It's been a journey, man.
It has.
It's been from our office to a lot of freezing on Facebook and Instagram, to having guests over to the house to record. Glenn is setting up and breaking down numerous of times, to just a lot of really good memories. You want to go into our favorite episodes? Or?
Yeah, well, let me just tell them real quick. So what's funny is, so we probably were just doing a Instagram live every Tuesday night at 7. Mm-hmm. It was Eagle Talk Tuesday. And one day I was in the beauty shop. Mm-hmm. And this girl came in the beauty shop. I hadn't seen her in a while. And she was like, oh, I just saw your podcast.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't have a podcast. And she was like, yes, you do. I watch it every night on Instagram, every Tuesday on Instagram. And that's when the light bulb went off, like, ding, 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 ding. We need to actually be recording this so that it can actually, for a few reasons. And let me tell y'all this, because I know that we have different business owners. We recommend that most business owners have a podcast, something like this, because when you are doing things on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on TikTok, you are basically on rented land, right? So like for what Corey was saying, we would be doing our talks and then it would freeze, or we would get kicked off of Instagram, and then it was just a cluster. Whereas when we started doing the podcast, we had the recordings, like we can use the content for different purposes and things like that. So definitely, like, the light bulb went off, like, we're doing the work anyway, we might as well record it and like make it official. Yeah.
So a couple of things with that, going back to the beginning point, I'm thinking of 3 times. The first time that I got recognized in public for Eagle Talk, we were at Costco. Well, I was at Costco. You weren't even with me. And a lady walked up to me and was like, I know you. And I was like, okay. She was like, you got a something with your wife. So she knew you more than she knew me. She just kind of knew my face. And I was like, okay, this is catching on. And then, well, I give you the second time. I had a mastermind. And the day I met Javon, Javon whipped out his phone and showed me a video of him and his family watching Eagle Talk.
Oh, wow.
I was just like, this is like getting crazy. To your point on content creation, I just watched something with a young man that is an e-commerce guy, and he's doing about 10 million a year, and he's been doing it about 7 years. And for whatever reason, he didn't even know, he started recording his journey from the first year to now. And he has so much content to put out, and really, what do they call it? Proof of concept. He's able to show his complete journey. Like his first product that he ever sold was like, I don't know, he made like $17.
Yeah.
And now he has a whole team, and he has a couple of e-commerce stores, and he shows people how to develop these stores. And he did like 12 million last year.
Yeah.
But the point that he was making was to be able to have the documentation throughout the process and throughout the year. So you're 100% correct.
Yeah. And I know we're talking, like, our audience on Eagle Talk, a lot of our audience are entrepreneurs. Y'all make sure that you are I know video is not, like, Corey will be the first one to tell you that video was not his jam.
You're still not.
Corey is such a introverted extrovert, I guess we would say.
Know me, you got to know me.
But on the other side of that, how do you feel now that you're at episode 100? How do you feel getting outside of your comfort zone and now doing it?
If I can be honest, it was all worth it.
Yeah,
it really was, because I know the third thing, and I go back to that. You were doing your event at church, and you were talking to this lady. And I got there, I don't know, a little bit after you, and I walked up, and a lady stopped mid-conversation and said, hey, I saw you on TV. And I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. But I mean, I just think it's worth it. What they say, closed mouth don't get fed, right?
Yeah.
And I, at first, and there's certain things I'm still guarded on, but at first it was just kind of like, why? I don't understand
What's the
whole,
point?
But people need to be fed. You know?
And I think the point is that I think that sometimes, especially in Black communities, we don't get, I think our whole purpose is to say, the versions of us that we are becoming, right? Because we're not even now who we were when we started this. Sometimes people can see your chapter 20 and think, I can never achieve that.
Yeah.
So our purpose of Eagle Talk is to not only give like clear, concise entrepreneurship, like mentorship and advice through this platform, but also like to tell any person, like, I don't care, like if God can use our raggedy butts, you know, save our marriage, save us, and bring us to a place where we're actually not only feeling the fruits of the labor, but also able to just share. I mean, we've shared some very raw moments here. Like we just want to let other people know what's possible.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest lessons that I've learned, I can't speak for you, is don't let it be about the money.
Yeah.
I think more than anything that now we know that we're here to serve people. Yeah. And to help people, and even, you know, in some way, shape, or form, identify like a problem.
Yeah. No, for real. That like that's what it is. We should be in the problem solving business.
That's my biggest takeaway that I can give anybody listening today is, you know, because I mean, society is so money driven to, you know, that's the motivator, right? Yeah. But once it's kind of like, it's not really that. It's more about how many people can you help and serve. Now you got your purpose.
Nah, absolutely. So let's get into some of our favorite moments.
Let's do it.
So we've shared the first one, which is that first, like that initial first interview, where we went through your entrepreneurship journey. And actually, I want to say that is linked on my YouTube page. So we'll link it here for anyone who wants to watch. But then let's talk about the first time. So we decided after being a podcast for a couple months that we were going to host a live event, and we did an Eagle Talk live in October of 2021. Yeah. Want to share about that?
That was a journey. That was a process. That actually was a bigger task than I think we thought. Yeah. And up to the process, we were so excited. During the process, I don't even think we were present. We was just, it was like floating on a cloud. Yeah. And then after the process, literally after the event, we just looked at each other and just cried. Like, we cannot believe this just happened. And I don't think that we knew how many people were investing in us. Yes. And wanted to see.
You really saw, like, it went from being a hobby to purposeful. Yeah. Right. It went from being a hobby to purposeful. Our theme of that one was do it scared. And which is really kind of like an underlying theme of our life, because we understand the danger of settling. And we understand that a lot of times people settle, and we have settled in the past for fear of what was on the other side. Right. Yeah. So I'll give, like, we were just talking about you not wanting to do video for fear of what was on the other side. But now that you're on the other side of it, you're like, oh, it was worth it. Yeah. So in that first Eagle Talk Live, I think that it was intimate because it was a lot of core people that we were in relationship with. So to know that you can pour into your core, and it still, like, people have seen you, they know your junk, and are still impacted, and now it's overflowing. That was just really overwhelming for me. For sure.
Yeah, it was a great event. I'm really glad we did it. The second Eagle Talk Live was
crazy.
Yeah, double the impactful. But the first one will always be our little baby.
Yeah, the first one's our baby. Yeah. Okay. Now, speaking of episodes, let's hop into one of your favorite episodes that I know you're going to mention.
I think it should be the second episode with my son. Yeah. With Corey. The first episode was great. The next one, you just saw growth.
Yeah. That's episode number 74 with our son, Corey Lewis. Corey Drayvon Lewis.
I saw a different side of him. I mean, he was not a young adult anymore. You know, he was a man. He stood on his own. He knew what he was talking about. He had done some reps in the gym as far as real estate. And he was aware. Yeah. You know, he was really aware of the times that we're living in and the work that it's going to take to get to where he's trying to get to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. One of my favorite episodes is with our Texas cousin. Yeah. And honestly, someone who has really spearheaded a lot of what, I'm not going to say spearhead, I'm going to say that planted seeds, which again is why we are doing Eagle Talk because we have had so many amazing people plant seeds in our lives, and we know the power of that seed planting. That would be episode number 81, and that's with Johnny Collins.
Yeah.
And it was really the power of networking. And I love, like, Johnny dropped so many gems in that episode. And I know, like, networking gets, unfortunately, I think in the wrong groups, it gets a bad rap. Like, you're just trying to get something. But when you really look at the major players, networking is how a lot of people have achieved their net worth, right? By getting in the right rooms, having the right conversations, and not just getting in those rooms to take, but to give, right? To give, to provide value, and then receive last. Johnny dropped so many amazing nuggets, and I think that anyone who would listen to that episode would know why he's such a valuable part of our lives and how he just really helped frame some of our thoughts.
Let me say something about Johnny just real quick. Johnny's not a hater. Johnny is a team player.
Yeah.
Johnny, on our second to last day of Dubai, he texted me like, "Are y'all ever coming home?" And I was like, "Dude, we get on the plane tomorrow night about 2 a.m." And I FaceTimed him when we got back, and I was like, "Dude, there's no couple on the face of this planet that I would much rather do this trip again with than you and Tony."
Yeah.
On FaceTime, he says, "I'm in."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he is just on the team. It doesn't matter if it's for a good cause, if it's to help somebody out. If it's just if that's the mission, he's in.
Yeah.
And that's how he is with networking. The exact same way. He meets somebody, he's gonna plug you.
And he's gonna connect that person. Like here, y'all two get together and y'all run with it. But I'm not going to hold back and not make the connection.
Not at all. As TK told me last night, y'all are very unselfish with your friends.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how Johnny is. And we're grateful for that, for sure, because he's been a pivotal part.
An amazing episode, and definitely something that I think any entrepreneur should listen to, especially those of you who are reluctant when we say networking. You cringe, but listen, if you keep playing in your own sandbox, you're gonna run out of sand at some point, right? You got to get out there.
Yeah. I'll give y'all another one. One of my favorite moments. This one I kind of knew I had a little bit of juice. One of my good friends, Darnell Sapp, was coming to Eagle Talk Live, the second one, and he's always told me that his brother wanted to meet me from day one. Some kind of way we were about to break, and Darnell sent me a message and was like, "Hey, we on our way." And I'm like, "You on your way?" He's like, "No, we on our way. I got Marvin with me. He wanted to come to Eagle Talk." And I'm just looking like, oh man, this is about to be dope.
Yes.
So before the breakout session, I said, "Hey y'all, make sure y'all eat and come back. We got a real special guy." I didn't announce the guest.
Yeah.
And we went to lunch. I went across the street, and Darnell and Marvin were eating, and we chopped it up real quick. And I looked up, and Marvin Sapp was coming down there. Never would have made it. Was playing, and he was in the building, and he spoke.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. And what's crazy is he spoke, and without like us having a conversation or anything, what he shared was in complete alignment with the theme of the Eagle Talk 2, which was limitless.
Yeah, that was a special moment.
Yeah, now that was super, super dope. Well, I'm gonna tell you, one of my special moments was not a singular moment, but it was reoccurring, and it really started when we were on Instagram, right? I want to say the first time we did Instagram, I sent my mom a link. My mom was not on Instagram; she was only on Facebook. Well, I don't even think she was on Facebook at the time. But she had internet on her phone, so she could go back and click the link and watch Eagle Talk. And when I tell y'all, before it was even a podcast, every Tuesday night, because she wasn't on Instagram, but about 8, she knew it lasted about 20 to 30 minutes. At 8:33, she was texting me, "Did y'all come on tonight?"
Right.
Then at the same time, she used to watch the old network, had the have and have nots. And she go tell me once, like, "Well, y'all done made me put down the have and have nots. Y'all actually starting to get good."
Right.
And when we finally, transitioned, we were live on Facebook. She would be the first one on the live, the first one to say something. "I love you. Yep. Hey, mama's here." And as you all know, my mom went to heaven about 15 months ago. But her uncurling support is one of my favorite moments. And one thing that I love about getting yourself out there, right? And this is something that I think my mother loved. Like, she knew a version of us, right? She knew the daughter and son-in-law version of us, but she didn't quite know the business version of us, you know? And me and my friend were just talking about that, how like you can know, like, I know a version of Corey as my husband, but now that we do Eagle Talk, now that we are doing some business ventures together, I think that I get to see your leadership skills in a different way. You get to see mine in a way that we might not be privy to, right? Because we have a familial and a romantic relationship, right? So I think that what Eagle Talk did for my mom is that it let her peek and see a side of us that was different. And I love that she was able to get that and see that part. And we didn't know that she would transition from this life as quickly as she did. But that's definitely one of my favorite things that, you know, I always knew she was proud, but this gave her a different level of pride and confidence in us. And I'm just so grateful that we had that.
Yeah. It was probably about 15 times in Dubai where I just said to myself, I wish I could FaceTime your mama.
Yeah.
Because she just wouldn't believe it. You know what I mean? So even to get this far, 100 episodes is just it's amazing, and I miss her.
Yeah, I miss it too. All right, so listen, we have had another thing that I love is just how many people we have had random conversations with, right? You know, like we're still a baby platform, right? And we're still growing, and just to know the impact as a baby platform, it's just so, you know, like I have had people reach out to me. We've received text messages from friends who will say, hey, I sent my friend this episode and this is how it impacted their life. So a huge point is all of y'all who are rocking with us, who share, who like, who leave comments, who just let us know that it's not in vain, like you hear us. That is absolutely my favorite part, is the people. Yeah,
one of the sweet things is when somebody texts me a quote that I said all the time. Like Ed, I was talking about not letting my money sit in the bank, and Ed texted me and said, Corey Lewis quote, I want to make my money dance. So I'm like, oh, okay, he really listening, right? But that happens actually all of the time.
Yeah. Somebody
will say something either I said or you said. So that's pretty funny. But more importantly, they're listening.
Yeah.
And we're giving them something that the people need. And, you know, it's been a ride, you know, it's been interesting. And I think that moving forward, we need to make sure that we just keep our eye on the prize.
Yeah. Okay. And that's what I was going to say, because people want to know what's next. You tell me what's next for Eagle Talk.
I think what's next is just more engagement with the people.
Yeah.
You know, giving the streets what they want, right? Not what we think they want. So, I mean, we have to have more engagement. We need to know what more problems we need to help solve and think through. But that's only going to come through feedback.
Yeah. And so you hear Corey, y'all. So this is what we need you to do. We need you to hit up comments. We need you to get into the reviews. Let us know, like, what do you love and what do you want to see more of, or how do you want us to show up for you? Because that's what we're doing, y'all. We are here to actually show up for you. And we just want to be able to serve at the highest level. And we're just so grateful for you.
Yeah. We want to thank you guys for always and continuing to rock with us.
Yep.
Again, this is number 100.
100, yeah.
We made it. We are going to have a
we made it.
Pajama jam this weekend, but it's private. Sorry, you guys are not invited. And you know, let's just keep this party going.
Let's keep it going. All right, Eagles, well, do us a favor. Go ahead and hit that share button, like this episode, and leave a
5-star review.
5-star review. And we will talk to you next week.
We'll see y'all.
Bye, Eagles.
Bye.